welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have the beautiful shadow frame box die set along with the celebration shadow frame insert and the garden shadow frame insert die sets to share with you. Now, if you haven't already seen the video that I have posted just before this one, I've used the shadow frame creator die set and the Christmas shadow frame die insert together, and I have made these beautiful little fold flat cards. I've actually made that one to fold flat, and then I put a little base in this one. So you can see that one. The link will be down below in the description, and if you haven't already subscribed, you could do that and hit the notification bell, and that way you'll be kept up to date with all of the new videos as they come along. You can check out the playlists that are there as well, and that way you'll be able to link a lot of these videos together. Right, let's have a little look at this one. This is actually the box die set, so if you have made this and you want to keep it standing upright like this and not folded flat, we've also got this new die set that goes along with that, and this is the box one. So it's got a lid and it's an actual rigid box. Now, you don't absolutely have to make this at all to suit any of these. You can just make a plain ordinary box to suit any gift that you want to go inside it. In fact, we'll have a little look inside here. There are, let's see, 25 dies in this one, and you've got all of the dies that make the box, the decorative detail that you can put on the front, and then the panels, and the little one here which cuts out the aperture in the centre of it as well. I'll be showing you more of that in a minute or two, but you don't even have to cut the aperture. You could just use the layering dies that are here, so that would be these outside ones. If I could just grab that, this rectangle one and the rectangle ones that are inside here, and use patterned paper or something, and it would be absolutely beautiful. Anyhow, we'll want to get the best use of the die set if you have it, and I want you to know too that you can make cards from this. You can actually just use these to make a flat card. You don't even have to layer them all up like this, but you can actually just make simple cards, simple boxes, and change them around a bit just to suit whatever you want yourself. But we have got the aperture die, the main die for the front and back, the sides, the top here, the lid, and this one here is for the base, this long one here. And then we've got this little piece that's for the side as well, and some little sentiments. So we've got good luck and sending hugs. I'm just going to have a quick look at the other two sets before I go on to show you how to make that one up. So we've got the celebration shadow, and that's 12 dies in there, and the garden shadow frame set, which has 10 dies in it as well. So we've 12 here, 10 here, and 25 in that one. That's a lot of dies that can all be used together. And in this one we've got, it's called celebration, so there's a wedding, and then there's, what's this, probably a birthday, there's gifts there, and then the backing plate for that, bunting, balloons, and then a little well, I would call that a wedding cake. Yes, it's a 3-tier cake, and we've got happy birthday and on your day there, and then this lovely little frame piece as well. So again, these can be used with the other die set, so they can be used in place of these ones. They can be used in the new bigger one. I'll show you a different way to use them on there, but you can actually just glue them straight onto the front of any of these, or on plain cards as well. And the same with this one. This is so, so beautiful. I like to sort of stick to plain colour schemes, but I think on this one you could do that, but this is so beautiful because we've got this little bicycle, and we've got foliage here, and we've got this little, we've got all sorts of things there that would really lend to either paper piecing or colouring in, maybe with coloured pencils or alcohol markers. So I'll just pop these aside and bring in the little bits and pieces that I've already cut out. I want to show you where to find the dies that I'm actually using to cut out in the die set here. So it's this large piece here with the 3 tabs on it that you use to cut out for the back and the front of the box. So I've got one here that I have just cut flat and left like that. That will be the back piece. Then I have the front one here, and you can see I've already cut a little aperture into that. So what I did was I took this one, and you can see it's got a cutting line up around the top there, and down the centre, but these two pieces are folded and it's cutting along there. So I have actually laid this die piece on top and centralised that, so I knew where it was with the cutting edge. So it doesn't actually matter in this one, but the cutting edge would need to be down in this one. Whenever you've got that one centralised, you're only using that as a guide in the same way as I did in the first video, and then you'll set this one in, but you'll tape that one down and remove this one, and then cut that through put that through your die cutting machine, and you'll be left with this piece here and these little doors that open. But you don't have to use that one. You can use separate little doors. There are two here, one here and one here, and that would be equally lovely. Or you could just leave that as an aperture if you want to cut this piece. Or in fact you could use some of the other dies from the other sets for that as well. So I have now got my front and my back, and then I have taken the die that I showed you there that I used for placement. So I've used that along with this rectangular die, and I've cut both of those out together along with this one in the centre. So I'll show you here that this one doesn't actually have a cutting edge in here. So if you were to cut those two together, that would leave this solid in the centre, but you can remove that by using this one as well. So I have used some beautiful red satin card, and I have cut out this shape that I'm going to put on here, and that just glues beautifully on top of that. And then I have taken the little sending hugs because I wanted that to be added dimensionally. So I've taken this piece and I've cut that out in the red, and then I have used that one again with the little sending hugs die here, and I've used the two together in cream and put that on here. So sorry, I should have said this is ivory 300 GSM card that I've cut for the actual card, the box base, and I've added that on top of there with the 3D dimensional foam pads, and I'll use my little precision nozzle now to glue all of this together with my deluxe adhesive. That's the front and the back ready now, and because this is the front of the box and it's going to be opening straight into the card, I cut myself a little piece of acetate and I'm going to attach that in behind there. So just to let you know, that is 9 centimeters by 10, and I'm going to pop that on in behind this aperture just so that everything inside the box then will be enclosed. Got my front panel ready then, and my back panel, which I haven't decorated, and I may not actually because I might want to write on the back of that. But then I have taken the largest die in this set here, so that's this one, and I've cut that out twice for the sides. So this will be the two side panels, and that's going to get glued on there. And then inside that you'll find two more dies. So we've got the rectangular one, and then we've got the one inside that. And if I use both of those together, I'll get myself this lovely patterned panel. It's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to glue that on there, and I'll be able to attach both the sides and then the back together. Then this little die that has the two glue tabs, one at either end of it here, is used for the base of this. So I can cut that out and then glue that on here, and when I've that done, I'll be able to go ahead and attach all of these sides together and form the box. I've got all of this cut out now, and before I put that together, I've just noticed that the piece that I had left over from one of my original pieces in this set fits exactly into there. So you could actually layer all of this up and just have it as a solid box as well. That's another little option, but I'm going to go ahead and glue all these panels together now. Now you can see on the die set here that we've got the pieces for the lid, so you need to cut this piece out twice, and then the decorative panels inside that can be used to decorate it. And when you've got that, all you need to do is put one on top of the other and fold all these glue tabs up and make yourself a little lid. Well, I've already gone ahead and decorated that with all those pieces, so I know to put the glue on this side here and add that other one on top. And now it's only a matter of adhering all these panels together, folding them all over, and then I'll have myself a little lid. That's the box finished then, and that was really quick and easy to make. And as I said before, you can keep it much simpler by just using these panels and decorating them with either plain paper or patterned paper or something, and not actually even use these decorative panels on it. So there's the lid off, and as I said, a gift box, but you can also use that same box for putting this inside. And look how lovely that looks now whenever you open this up, and you can see right inside there. For my next sample then, I want to show you how to use a little bit of this, but because I've already showed you how to do all the layering stages and all the different things when I was making this one and the other one in the first video, it might be a good idea just to, if you need to go back to that video and recap on how to do that, because I've decided to do something just a little bit different with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little memory book. So I'm using this die set along with the original one which was in the first video, and then you can also make a box, which I'm not going to go ahead and do because it would make this video far too long, but I'm going to suggest that you would make a box for it using this die set that I have just used in my first sample. So back to this one. So I've taken that die and I've cut that out once, oops, for the front of my little memory book, and then I have taken the die with the two tabs on it here, and I've actually cut those two tabs off and attached one onto the back here, and that is the front cover and the back cover of my little book. So you can see that this is exactly the same size, but it has the tabs taken off it, and the tab is now in here. I don't actually need to then go ahead and add the other side on, because this is going to be my book and this is going to be where the spine is. And then I've created the pages by cutting out the same shape here with the two glue tabs down the side, and I've taken off the right hand side ones. So I've got 4 here and I might not use them all, but I've removed the tabs from the right hand side, and I've folded these ones back, and these then will be my pages, and these will be the little guides and the glue tabs that I'm going to attach into this little spine here. So all I need to do now is glue these in, and I can go ahead and make my little book. Now, because it's a memory book this time, I'm not going to go ahead and cut apertures into these, but I can certainly go ahead and add some of the detail onto the front of them, and then I'll also be able to use some of these little shapes and pieces, possibly not in that colour though, that's a spare piece, to make them my little tags for the book as well. So I'll just go ahead and use this little glue tab as my guide to glue these in here, and that will leave me enough room whenever I glue these in. That little space will leave me enough room to put something on the back and the front without that being too close together, and I can use that spacing the whole way along there. I've gone ahead then and added most of the pieces onto this little book, and I'm going to show you through it, but I'm going to add a few bits and pieces into it at the same time. Now you can see I've already covered the front. I never intended to make this in these colours when I started, but I cut out the little bicycle in that ivory and started to colour in, and one thing led to another, and that's the way it went, but I really like it anyway. Now you can see in there there's loads of dimensions, so there's lots and lots of room for 3D foam pads, for all sorts of things that you could add in there. So first of all, I have used this little die set, and I have taken this outside edge along with the bicycle one, and I have cut those together in ivory, and I've got this little die cut here, and I have glued that onto an ivory piece of card cut with the same outer die, and this patterned paper here has been cut with this same die as well, so all of those three have been layered up. And then I took my alcohol markers and just added a little bit of colouring here and there on the front of that, and glued it all together and popped it on there, and you can see I've actually added that with 3D foam pads as well, and added a little twine bow. On my next page then, I have covered all of these pages with the inner die from the first set that I used, so that would be this one, and you can use this die, you'll find it just in here, or you could use this one as well. Whichever one that you've used for the page, then you can use this one, and that will give you just a slightly smaller size, and it's just enough to fit there and make a mat for that. So on here then I have taken the two dies that are from this box set, and you can see here it's actually just one die inside where you would use this one for the lid, for decorating the lid, and I'll show you where to find it. Just here on your set, you take it out of there, and I've die cut that twice from patterned paper. I've butted them both together, and I've added a piece of the patterned paper from behind there onto this, and then I'm actually going to stick a little piece of card down there just to strengthen that, but depending on whether you've cut this with card or just whatever it is that you've used may be strong enough, and you mightn't even need this, but I'm going to put that on in there just down that join. And as I said, there's loads of room for dimensions, so I have added this on with 3D foam pads. Now I have been very busy and I haven't had time to make lots and lots of tags, so I'm just going to show you your way through this album with a minimum of tags, and you can just imagine where they're going to go and what they're going to do. So we've got that on there, and there's lots of room then for your tag to go in, and it could even have a bit of dimension on it because you've got that little bit of room there, so you could have 2 or 3 layers on that one. On this one then, I have used this same die again that I used for the layer on the back, and I've cut it out in ivory card and then in green paper, and I've actually just slid the green paper one down and glued it on. Then I've attached those with 3D foam pads there as well to give us sort of a thicker pocket, and I have die cut the little birdhouse, and you'll find that in your set here. It's just there, and I've die cut that and added it on with a piece of twine as well, and that gives another little pocket here. Now on the next page I have actually used this die, so this is from the box set again. We're going here this time, and you'll find this one on here. It's actually the piece for the bottom of your box, and I've cut that out in patterned paper and just folded it over, and you can see I've glued it on there, and I'm going to add some glue on here. Now you could actually make that a little bit deeper by adding some 3D foam pads instead of the glue on there, and I've done that later on in the book. Now that then gives you a place to put some tags in there, and you can see this little decorative detail here. I have actually used these dies, so it's the inner one, the patterned one, and the one just behind it, and they would fit into the lid normally, but I have die cut them and I've put one top and bottom there, and that gives a lovely little piece there. Then on this one I have used the little die from this set again, so I've got the little sort of brick wall and the door effect, or patio doors or whatever that is, and I've die cut that with the plain die from the box set. Now you could actually use the scalloped one, you could use whichever one you like from any of the sets, but I've used the one from in here, and that's the one I've used for my tags as well, as you can see, just here. So I've cut that out in green paper. I've used the two dies together, and then I've used the plain one for the background and on some ivory card as well. So you can see here I've also taken a little strip of card, and that measures, should have done this before I came, but that measures 5 centimeters, and it has about 1 centimeter each side with a score down the center. So it's 5 by 2 and scored down the middle. And I glued that on in between the paper and the card there to make a little folded over part. And then I've taken another little die cut exactly the same, and I'm going to glue that on in behind it. So you could be able to see how this is going to go together in a second or two. So the right side facing up, and I've now got what looks like a little book. And I'm just going to go ahead then and add glue onto the back of that. There. And pop that in to the center there. And then whenever you open this little memory book, you'll see you come to that page, you open this, and then you can put whatever you want in there, your little photo or your little saying or your little quote or whatever you want in there. And that looks really lovely too. Now on the next page then I have gone back to this same set, and I have used the little die that's up at the top here. So I'll lift this off, and you can see you need to use this with an outside cutting edge. I've used it with the scalloped one from that same set, but you could use it with this plain one from the box set or any of the other ones as well. But you need to cut that out with both of those dies to get this green area here. And then I've backed it onto just a perfectly plain or scalloped, whatever you like, one of these. And I have added that onto the page on 3D foam pads as well, as you can see there. They're only up at the top or bottom. Now I don't actually have a small die at the moment, so I'll just show you. Well, I've got a piece of card here, so you could put something in through the back of that as well, a smaller tag or whatever. That's just for reference, and you can also put something on the front of that as well. Now I've gone back to this die that's for the base of the box as well, and I've die cut more paper out for here, and again I've just glued that on. And I've used just the background this time, so this is the same set that I've used here without the detail in it. And I've glued that on there, so you're going to be able to put a tag in here, but you could also put something smaller in here, because I have taken this little die that actually is for around the sentiment, and I have glued that in there at the top and bottom before I put this piece on over the top. So obviously this piece is only for reference, it's just to show you that you can actually put a smaller tag in there. This one wouldn't actually quite fit, but it does go in there. Now on the next page I have gone back to this little set. No, I haven't, I've actually gone to the box. So I've gone to the box set this time, and I have used the beautiful little lattice door that's in the center here of this big area. So you lift that one out, and you'll also need the plain die that goes on the outside of that. And die cut the two of those together. There it is. I have die cut the two of those together in green paper and glued it onto just a plain one that I cut out with the ivory card. And I have put 3D foam pads, but this time they're only down here and across here. So that means that that's sitting up, and you can pop something in there. So the next two pages don't have any layering on them at all, but you could add whatever you want. I've left that plain just for your own imagination or whatever. Then on the back page I've got this one again for the bottom, but where these tabs fold over this time I've added 3D foam pads, and that gives that quite a bit of dimension there, and you can put your little tag or your little photo or whatever you have in there, and that's your lovely little book. Now earlier on, when I made this box, I suggested that you could make a plain box to put this in. Now I don't actually have time to do that just at this stage. I might do it at a later stage, but for now I just want to suggest that you use the plain dies without all of the, you could actually add these on in a different colour, but you don't necessarily need to add all the detail onto that, you could add a patterned paper that's going to match your little book, and then you can take your lid off. That one isn't relevant anymore if we're going to have this one inside, and pop your memory book inside there, and that would be a lovely little feature as well. Because I've got that memory book with the little bicycle and whatnot in there, you could actually have this on the front of your box as well. That would be really, really nice. But I definitely wouldn't go for all this shiny stuff. I would probably go for something very plain to match in with that one. Well, I actually was not going to use any more of these dies. I was going to leave the rest to your imagination, but this one's so beautiful I thought I'd just add another one in. So I've got this die set, which is the shadow frame box set, and then the celebration shadow frame insert set. And I want to do a wedding card with this, and I have it in the box. But actually I'm not too sure which way it's going to end up yet, but I'm cutting all the pieces out for a wedding card and box. So I've gone ahead, as you can see, and I have all of these cut. So I've been using the ivory card again, and I have taken some of the absolutely beautiful Venetian Rose mirror card. It is so beautiful. And I've got the front and the two sides decorated, and this is the back. And you can see where I have used the Italian Rose card on here, and then I have die cut the plain archway through that, and then I held on to that little bit because I want to use that for one of the pieces inside. Now I am going to cut the bride and groom and whatnot, but I want to do the cake in the first part. So I've gone ahead and cut out this piece here, which has the, see here, it's got the folded part at the sides and the bottom, and you want to leave that flat while you run it through the die cutting machine again with whichever die you're going to use in it. So this time I have decided to use the cake one, which I have got here, and I placed that on there using the same placement idea that I have done on the rest of them, which is suggested in the packaging. So you put the bigger die on here first, layer it for placement, set this one in the center and take the bigger one off and just run it through with this one on. So I have done that, and it has given me this little shape. And then I've gone ahead with this strange looking little die here, but that's actually the solid piece for the back of the cake. And I've glued that on there, and then we have this lovely solid shape on there. Now the piece that I was talking about that I cut out from here in the Italian Rose, I saved that then, and I die cut this one inside of it this time, and I got this shape. Well, I actually got it with the little cake on here, and I snipped right across there and took the cake off because I've got the cake the way I want it in there. And this now has left me with a lovely little frame that I'm going to glue on top here, and I'm just not sure whether I want to maybe offset it slightly, and I might actually do that, and that would let me see the ivory up here as well as the little Italian Rose piece. So I'll glue that on with my fine tip nozzle, yet again with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I will actually just move it slightly up so that we can see the two little pieces on there. I've gone ahead then and cut two more pieces of this. So this is the one from the box die with the glue tabs on the bottom and the two sides, and one of them I've just put the, I have to set that away quickly, I've just put the Italian Rose rectangle die cut into the centre of that, and then in the other one I've cut the, well, what I think is the bride and groom there. So what I really want to do is have them with this shining through behind, and then the cake layered up in front, and all of that inside this lovely box. So I'm going to glue these tabs inside here in just the same way as I did for the other cards. So I'm going to start at this fold line and pop this one in along this edge here. I'm going to add glue along this edge, and then I'll add this one in behind and the next one, and I'm not adding another layer because I want to leave a little space at the back of that to pop a card in as well, because I've decided that I'm going ahead with the lid and adding the base on, but I want to leave room for a little card to pop inside too. Now I won't necessarily make that card, but I want to leave the space for it. I've got all these glued in now, but you probably noticed there that I actually should have had this side tab on here first before I put these in. So because I had to glue those down and the tab wasn't in, I had to nip the tab off, but everything's fine because it won't be noticed once I have this glue tab in here. But so you'd be best to glue that in first and not do what I've done here if you just follow along with what I did in the other box when I was putting it together. But it actually works out fine anyhow. So now I'm going to put glue on this tab and these ones and along here, and I'll just bring all of this box together, and then when that's closed up you'll see that we've got our little dimensional space here and place for a card in there. Whenever you've got the glue on those pieces and you want to be sure that they're going to hold tightly to the side there, so I can go in there with my little bone folder and push down on top of the glue tabs, and then that way I know that they're all pushed down carefully. And that's it, finished. Isn't that really beautiful? It's really just an absolutely gorgeous shape of card, and the colour is absolutely gorgeous. So that's it all finished apart from the lid. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So you can see there, this is just for dimension, and this is a little pocket in at the back again then for putting a card or a little gift or money token or something in. And then I've also made this gorgeous little lid to match, and I can pop that on here. Now that's everything made, and I'm just going to show you them all together. That's everything that I've made with these sets, and I think they've turned out really, really well. I just love the dimension, and I love the way you can see all the little different scenes in behind there. If you haven't got them and you want them, you can have a look down below in the description, and my affiliate links to all of these products will be down there. And if you have got them and you're just wanting another few ideas, I hope you've enjoyed this too, and I really hope you enjoy using yours. There's loads more things you can do with this, because obviously you're not tied to any of the dies that are in there. You can add some of the things that you've maybe got of your own lovely foliage and everything around the outside, hanging down inside there would be absolutely beautiful. But I can't fit it all into this video today, but I'm sure I will be back to these die sets time and time again, and I'm sure you'll see lots more ideas with them, or little pieces of them incorporated into other things. So if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, leave me a little comment and let me know what you thought of it, and any ideas that you have had, or any things that you would put inside it, or even have you already done it and what you've done with it too. So thanks once again for watching, thanks for joining me, and if you have left a little comment in any of my other videos and I haven't replied yet, I will do that, because I really love to read them and get to know you a little bit better as well, and know what your crafting likes are, so that I can sort of hone my videos to suit and keep you all happy and give you something that you enjoy to watch. So until next time, happy crafting, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye, thank you.